I'm happy now. Is it now acceptable to start playing Christmas music? Hey, what's going on guys, it's Flo here and I'm back with another Dear Diary video. Now in this video I'm going to be talking about my gender and a little bit more. A couple of while back I talked about my gender journey, but I don't think that I've gone too much depth into it, so that's what I'm going to do in this video. Now I remember in school I always knew something was different, and like I came out as bisexual in 13, but even after that I still knew something was up, but I didn't really know what it was, and plus I didn't have the language at the time to know what it was. And so then again, I didn't know what was up, I didn't know what was going up in my mind. So really, for a couple of years I knew something was up, but I didn't know what it was, and it just kept bothering me for years and years and years. And it wasn't until 2015 until I started questioning my gender. That's when I started to know what it was, and when I heard the term non-binary, that's when I thought, yeah, that's me. And some of the things that led up to me, like before I started questioning my gender, it was like, because one of the things I kind of realised was, like, I never had that connection with being male. Like, it didn't feel right whenever I took to male bots, or like whenever I said, "Oh, I'm a man." Like, I can never had a connection with being a male. Like, it's like I've never felt what it truly feels like to be male. Like, another thing is, like, I feel like my mind is kind of separate the body, like my biological body. Because if you were to look at me, if you didn't know me and looked at me in the middle of the street, you would just assume that I'm a male by the way I look. But it's like my mind and my body are like two separate things, so they're like disconnected. And well enough, the way I see it is, it's like, you know, those little like blocks kids sometimes play with, where it's the ones where you put the square and the square, the triangle and triangle, so on, that sort of thing, what kids play with. It's like my brain's a circle and my body's a triangle, and they're not just going together. Like, obviously I have a sign male at birth, but obviously I don't identify that way. Like, and one of the things I want to talk about, I don't think I've ever talked about, is my dysphoria. Like, I do get dysphoria as a non-binary person. And the main thing is my beard, or my body hair in general. That's a main thing that sets it off. Luckily, since I work with food, I've got to regularly shave this off, so that's always a good thing. But whenever I used to have a longer beard than this, and whenever I see an old photo with me with longer hair than I do now, I used to have really curly hair before I went short back inside. I used to have like really long curly hair, full-grown beard, and that made me feel uncomfortable. But it wasn't until I started questioning my gender. It wasn't then until I realised that makes me feel dysphoric. It makes me feel like a man, and I don't like it. But yeah, whenever I see an old photo of me, it's like I don't recognise that person. It's like that was never me, you know, which is kind of weird. But now it was weird back then because I didn't know what it was. But now I realise it was dysphoria. You know, it made me feel like a man, and I don't like. I don't like feeling like a man. It makes me really down, and it triggers my dysphoria when I do feel like a man. Another main thing that does set off my dysphoria is when I get called by my birth name or misgendered. These are two massive things. Like, I go by they them pronouns. Like, for me, they probably fit for me. Because he, him, she, her pronouns, they don't fit me, so I use they, them. But whenever I get referred to as a he or a him, or anything to do with being male, that makes me feel dysphoric, and it's like I'm being called something I'm not. Well, that's the whole purpose. I do feel like I'm being called a man, which is something that I'm not. And the same thing is with my birth name. The thing is with my birth name now is that I've kind of learned to ignore it, which is something I can't really do with my pronouns. But with my name, with my birth name, I can really ignore it now, which wasn't the same when I first came out and I first changed my name, because I was still getting used to the name Florence. I feel like my birth name doesn't represent who I am. It was the reason why I changed it to Florence. I think Florence is a nice fitting name and I love that name. But like whenever I get called my birth name, it's like I'm being reminded of this person that I wasn't actually this person that I actually wasn't. And whenever I hear it, it's like, you know, one of those like loud screeching sounds. That's what my birth name sounds like to me, and that can really trigger my dysphoria. It can sometimes trigger my anxiety, especially if I'm in a room of people who don't know my birth name, and I do get called by my birth name. It can be like slightly awkward, especially for me, and that's what really does trigger the anxiety. And I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, those were like, they're probably the main things that do trigger my dysphoria off. But yeah, so yeah, mainly my body hair, misgendering, birth name, those are the main things that really do set off my dysphoria. But one of the things I do love is, like, if we were to go back to my body hair, the only hair I do like having is my hair. And the good thing about your head hair is that you can really do a lot with it. Like, I went short back and sides a couple of months ago, and I dyed it, which I really like, because I think it's more fitting to who I am. But yeah, that's all I've got time for this video. If you really enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and by all means go and check out all of my other videos, and I'll see you all later. Bye.